Hi everyone. Hi, hi, hi. Hi everyone. Okay, we are live now. Welcome to this fourth day of the challenge. Okay, so we are almost at the end, but today and tomorrow, honestly, I think that these are the most important days for you. So until now we have been talking about things that you can do, and as you know, we are very good at doing things. But today and tomorrow, we are talking about mindset and emotions. And these are some things that we have never been taught, and they are very, very, very important. Okay, so today we talk about over desire. And I think that this is a very important topic because ultimately, what makes you go and eat something, it's the desire. Okay, so trying to lose weight permanently without addressing the over desire part, which is always there, it's very difficult. Okay, so let's talk about desire. Desire comes from pleasure, but where does pleasure comes from? Pleasure comes from different parts. Okay, so first one can comes from social conditioning. So, for example, we have been taught what is eating normal, what is normal eating, okay, and how much enjoyment we should get from food. So it's like, okay, when I love something, I can go and eat all of it. Or, for example, if we have celebrations, we are on a wedding or Christmas times, we can eat whatever until we feel stuffed, and this has become something normal. Okay, so this is one thing. Pleasure can also come from the act of eating itself. And this is what happens every time that we eat, even if it's normal food, real food. Okay, so let's imagine broccoli, for example. Our brain is going to release a substance, a molecule that it's called dopamine. Dopamine is going to make you feel safe, it's going to make you feel well, it's going to make you feel pleasure. Okay, and this is for a survival reason, to not forget that we need to eat to survive, basically. Okay, what happens is that nowadays we are eating too much sugar, too much flour, and too much refined food. And what happens when we are eating those foods? Our brain is going to release 3 times the amount of dopamine, which means that our brain is going to experience an over pleasure, okay? That much that our brain doesn't know how to manage that, okay? So, what is going to happen is that once our brain feels this over pleasure, it just wants to recreate this. It just wants more and more. So our brain is going to create this unwarranted urgency for eating food, and especially those kinds of foods. Okay, so this is also something important to address. If you are eating too much sugar, flour, and refined food, when I say too much, this can be different depending on the person. If you are eating this regularly, if you are eating this daily, and you have a lot of cravings, urges, and so on, the first thing that I recommend you is to radically reduce those kinds of foods. Okay. Third place, pleasure can also comes from our thoughts. So, for example, thoughts like, I deserve this, I want this so bad, it's delicious, only it's the only one. I am going also to eat one time and then it's okay. It's the last one. I deserve this. Okay? All those thoughts, when you feel at when you think in those thoughts, you're going to feel this over desire. You have your cookies and you're feeling, oh, you're thinking they are my favorite ones. You just want to eat them. And of course, if you're not doing this work, what you're going to do is to eat them. You feel an over desire, and normally you obey that over desire. So you are going to eat them. But not only one, you're going to eat a second one, a third one, and probably you're going to end up with all the package. Okay, so this is something very important because even if it sounds very true, you may think this is true. So I really believe that this is delicious. And I think that this is delicious. And I think that today, because I had a hard day, I deserve to eat this. Or it's been 6 months without eating this, and today, I don't know, a new client signed, and I'm going to celebrate this with a cookie. Okay, so even if it sounds very true, even if it sounds legit, the thing is that this thought is making you feel over desire, and you are going to eat and overeat, and the result that you are going to create is that you are going to gain weight, which is something that you don't want if you are here listening to me, because you want to lose weight. So this is a result that you are having that comes not from the hard day, not from the client who has just signed up for your program. This is coming from what you are making those things mean. If you are making that mean that I deserve this, or today I'm going to give myself a treat, this is the thought that is leading you to have this result of gaining weight. So this is what I call thought errors. And I say thought errors because those thoughts are creating a result that you don't want. And those thoughts are the ones that you have to acknowledge, first of all, and you have to question them. So for example, let's say that you had a hard day. Okay, you have a hard day, and you arrive at home, you see your favorite cookies in the cupboard, and you say, today I deserve this. And you start to feel this over desire, and you end up eating. Okay, so ask yourself, when you catch up yourself telling you, I deserve this, is that true that I deserve those cookies? What do I really deserve today? What else can I offer to myself? Okay, so maybe you are doing this once you have end up the pack of cookies. It's not a problem. You don't have to make that mean something wrong about you. You are not a failure. You are not broken because you have eaten all the pack. Okay, you just have to say, okay, this has happened. What I am going to do next? What am I going to do? So realize, analyze, what have you told yourself before? Is that true? What else can I offer to myself? And this is what you have to do next time. The thing is that probably you have been practicing this so many times that you have ended up creating a kind of loop. So it's like you have created this neural pathway. So neurologically, it becomes like something automatic. And you're probably not aware of all this process that things create feelings, and feelings make me take some actions, having a result. This is totally normal too. Okay, you just have to put your attention on this and look on purpose to those thoughts that are creating you this over desire. Okay, so probably now you're going to start. What I recommend you, it's next time when you feel this urge to eat something, or even if you have already eaten all the pack, sit down and reflect a little bit on that. You are putting your attention there. So the next time it's going to be a little bit easier to find those thoughts while you are eating, for example. And maybe in 2 weeks, you're going to be able to catch up just before opening the cupboard, and you're going to say, hey, I deserve this. Do I really deserve this? No. What else can I offer? Okay, so it's a matter of practice. What we are doing actually when we are doing this, it's like now we are wired. We have been practicing this loop so many times that now it has become automatic. So if you want to stop doing this, you have to stop doing this. So you have to stop having those, so stop obeying those thoughts. Okay, so when you catch yourself with this thought, you just stop there, question, what else can I offer? And you do another thing. Okay, so this is the way. The more you practice doing other things, the more you're going to create a new loop, a new neural pathway. And even if it's not very easy, even if it's not coming naturally, in 1 month maybe or 2 months, it's going to become as easier for you to as easier as it is right now eating unconsciously. Okay, so it's just a matter of practice. The more you practice, the better you become at. Okay, so this is an important, very important thing that I wanted to tell you. And I am also going to tell you something. Even if it sounds very unconscious and automatic, there is a process there. So there's the thought that creates your feeling, and then you take some actions based on this feeling. Okay, so what you have to do now in this, there is a space between you feeling over desire and taking action. And this is the space that you have to extend a little bit, pause there, because there is a choice. You have to make a decision. Okay? And when it comes to decision making, we have two parts of our brain involved in the decision making process. We have our primal brain, which would be the automatic brain, the one that it works alone, automatic. Okay, it's like a child. It's the primal brain, so it's very basic. It works with this motivational triad, which is seeking pleasure, avoid danger, and efficiency. This part of the brain only wants these three things. Okay, it would be like, I always think about my toddlers. Okay, so it's, I want it all and I want it now, and I don't mind the consequences of my actions. Okay, so I want this cookie, I want this now, and otherwise I'm going to cry, I'm going to shout. These are all the thoughts that you're listen inside of you, telling you, no, you have to do this. Oh my God, I'm going to die, I'm going to starve, I need this now. Okay, this is your primal brain taking action. Okay, and then we have another part of our brain which is much more evolved, which is the prefrontal cortex. It's here, and this is the one that it's perfect planning, executing, reflecting, and so on. And this part of the brain, we are using it only 5% of the time. The 95% of the rest of the time, we are using the primal one. So the idea here is to involve a little bit this prefrontal cortex, because our prefrontal cortex would be like the adult that know exactly what we really want. It's like your higher self is the best version of yourself. Okay, so one of the things that we can do here to address a little bit this over desire, it's to start planning your meals ahead of time. So what you are going to do is to plan your meals at least 24 hours, so the day before. And when you plan, you don't have to take 10 minutes to do this, only 2-3 minutes, and you're going to write it down. Very important, what you are going to eat the next day. And when you are thinking about this, you have to think about, what can I offer to my future self of tomorrow that makes feel her great, and at the same time healthy, and lose weight. Okay, so you are going to answer from all these questions. Okay, so you have to include the foods that you like. This is very important. But also it's important to take into account what I told you today and what I told you yesterday. Okay, which is reduce as maximum as possible flour, sugar, and refined food. Okay, for the reasons that I told you yesterday, the impact that it has on the insulin, and which is the impact of having too much insulin in the bloodstream, not only in terms of weight loss, but also in terms of general health, global health. Okay, you can watch the replay of yesterday if you haven't seen it. So plan your meals ahead of time, and then when I say meals, it's not only the big meals, 2-3 meals per day. Also, if you are snacking, you have to plan your snacks. So if you usually are snacking, you are eating something at 4:00 p.m., you have to write it down. So everything that you are going to put in your mouth the next day has to be written there. Okay, And then the only thing that you have to do is to follow what you have planned. And this is very important, because when you show up for yourself and you honor your own plan that you have created, that include the food that you like, and that it's prepare it and plan it with the best intention for you to achieve your goal and also to make you healthier, you are working all in with your self-trust and self-confidence. Okay, and this is very, very important also in this process of lasting weight loss. Okay, you have to learn. This is what I teach in my program. I teach my clients to create a sustainable protocol, which is a way of eating that they can do for themselves and to honor. I help them to honor it every single day. And if you are not honoring, we're going to see what is happening, because there's something that is happening, and this has nothing to do with you. It's just, well, how our brains work, okay? And this is the work that we have to do. So the solution for over desire, it's first of all, reduce sugar, flour, refined food, for the reasons that I told you. Plan your meals ahead of time and honor them. This is very important, okay? Third, be aware of your thoughts, because your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings drive your actions, and your actions have a result. Okay, so if the result that you are having, it's not interesting, it's not useful, question that original thought. Is this true? What else can I offer to myself? Okay, so even if it sounds very true, it doesn't mean that you have to still believe in them and follow what it dictates. Okay, this is also very important. And then there's also something very important, and it's what are we going to do with this pleasure that now, in this moment, is coming from food. Because if you do this and you're going to reduce this kind of foods, you're going to experience less pleasure coming from food. Okay, so it's very important to address this issue of pleasure. And I just want to offer you something. We have been taught a lot of things around food and how much enjoyment we should have from food and so on. Okay, I just want to question you this. What if you just have to look for joy outside of food? What if you find joy inside of you? Because when you try to find joy, you are focusing your source of joy coming from food. You are relying on an external external source, which is something that it's outside, it's beyond your control. Okay, so this is something that I suggest you to do it on purpose. I suggest you just to stop desiring your having desire coming from food. Okay, and look for other places, other areas in your life where you can create this desire. So for example, myself, I am experiencing joy when I eat, but I don't need to eat cake, donuts, or junk food to experience that joy. I don't need to eat this sugar, flour. Of course, if I eat them, I'm going to experience more pleasure, but I am also experiencing pleasure coming from real food, from whole food. And this is something that one of my clients told me some months ago. The first day when she came to me, she told me, you know, Laura, I want to lose weight, but I'm going to tell you something. I love eating in the McDonald's, my family too. And this is the part that I think that it's going to be very, very difficult. I don't like eating real food. I really like that kind of stuff. Okay? And I don't remember exactly if it was in the fifth or the sixth week. She came to me and she told me, Laura, I don't know what happened, but now while I am preparing the salad, I am salivating just to see the colors of the salad that I am preparing, and I haven't even make a bite. So she has really got this total change in her mindset. And she was telling me, what I thought in the beginning it was impossible to convince my family to eat healthy food. Now I am all in and I don't matter what they think. So it's like I arrive at home and I say, today we are going to eat salad and a chicken breast. That's all. And of course they are complaining, but I don't mind. And this is something that she was very worried about, to have all the family against her and so on. But she was doing this like very in a funny way, and she was feeling really. She has really changed her mindset in this term. So she was telling me, I am never going to go back. And I don't want to hear about all that stuff that I was eating before. So it was really, really amazing to see this change in this short amount of time. So this is something that it's also available to you to learn how to enjoy eating real food. It's available to any of us. Okay. And the pleasure that I got, for example, I don't get a lot of pleasure coming from food, but I don't mind because this is something that I don't want to. I don't want to get a lot of pleasure from food because this is something external to me. And because I get pleasure from in other areas of my life and that are related to this decision. For example, I am getting pleasure for dressing with whatever I want and all fits me super well. I am getting pleasure of going to the store and buy me whatever because everything it's perfect. I am feeling pleasure of going to the swimming pool and feel super comfortable. I'm feeling pleasure to run, go in my running session and feeling that I am energized and that I am feeling light and that I can also climb mountains and I have no problem of um, loss of short of breath. Okay, so these are all the pleasure that I have. That it's not something that I rely on, which is external. Okay, and that has no negative consequence. This is also very important. Okay, so basically, this is what I have. Hi, Evangelia. Thank you so much. Hi, Julie. You are so bad at planning. We are going to discuss now. So, this is what I've got for you today. Talking about planning, Julie, I would like to just to be aware of the way you talk. So when you say I am so bad at planning, even if you are laughing at the end, um, this may be this can sound very true to you, but I don't think this has a positive impact on you. So I would add at the end, I am so bad at planning, but I am working on it. Okay. And you just have to put your attention and intention there. So if you see that planning it's difficult or you are bad, what does it mean that you are bad at planning? Maybe you just have to start planning. Okay. So make a decision, schedule the time. This is also very important. For example, when I talk about planning your meals ahead of time, one important thing is to plan to schedule those 3 minutes. Maybe in the beginning it's 5 minutes, but at the end it's going to be very much faster. So normally in 2-3 minutes you can already plan your meals, but you have to put this in your schedule. What's in your schedule? at least this is how it works for me. What it's in my schedule, it's something that it's done. Okay. If it's not in my schedule, chances are that I am not doing this. Okay. So if you make this really something priority for you, you have to schedule and you're going to do it. That's for sure. And then the other part, it's honoring your plan. This is another thing. Okay, this requires practice. Okay, and talking about schedules, some of you or some of my clients tell me, well, I don't have time. I have so many things to do. And I told them, but when you schedule, when you plan your meals ahead of time, and you know that you are going to honor it, you don't have to think anything anymore on food, on what you are going to eat, because this is already decided and you don't have to add anything. So really, it's a time saver. Planning your meals ahead of time, this is going to help you to save your time. It's amazing. And you are going also to realize how much you thought before about food. Every time you think about food, what I am going to eat, do I have this in the fridge? Oh, there's something that I didn't eat yesterday that I could eat tomorrow, but I don't know if I will be. No? So all this drama, it's over. Okay? So plan your meals ahead of time and honor your plan. This is all what you have to do, and you have to include the food that you like. This is also very important. Okay, so this is basically what I am doing in my 6-month program, which is called Rewired, because now you are wired to have this current weight. Okay, so you are doing things, you are thinking in a certain way that make you feel certain things, that make you do other things, and the result that you are creating, it's this current weight. Okay, and even if it's been like this in the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, it doesn't mean that it has to be forever. Okay, it doesn't have to be forever. What you have to do is, like you have learned to do all those things, you have to unlearn and to unwire and rewire your brain to achieve this lasting weight loss. And this is exactly what I am doing it with my clients. I am helping them to identify these thought errors, all those thoughts and beliefs, and work deeply on them, because there is where everything starts, in your mind. Okay, and we are transitioning, we are making this change of identity, because your identity, it's your thoughts that you have about yourself in the world. So if we want a lasting weight loss, or whatever lasting change we want, we have to change our thoughts about ourselves. Okay, so this requires a change of identity, and I am helping them during all this process. Okay, so there are a lot of thoughts that you are not even aware of, or that you have normalized, that are creating this result that you have right now. Okay, and tomorrow we are going to talk about emotional eating, and we are going to talk about emotions, and emotions are really very important, because if you are like a lot of people that are doing all the right things, but you are not getting the result you want, it's not because you are lacking something. It's usually because the emotion that is fueling those actions, it's not the right one. It's not a positive one. So for example, when we talk about weight loss, a lot, I would say almost 90% of my clients, what they have done until now, it's starting a diet with this approach of self-loathing. Okay, so I need to get rid of all these kilograms. I can't stand myself anymore. When I look at the mirror, I hate myself. Or I have to do this. I cannot eat this. Okay, so there's a lot of resistance. You may be very good at doing things because this is exactly what we have been taught at school, doing the things right. But if the emotion, it's resistance, it's self-loathing, you will never going to get a lasting result. Okay? So that's why it's very important not only work on the mindset, but also on the emotions. Okay? So, just remind you that I have 3 spots on this program. So, if you are interested in, you just have to send me a DM, and we can set a call and have a conversation, discuss a little bit, and if it's okay for both sides, we can decide if we work together or not. Okay? So I don't know if you have any questions. If you are watching the replay, you just have to write below, and I am answer all these questions. Okay. So I think that there are no more questions. So have a great day and see you tomorrow. Bye.